how the show goes.
Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and or their affiliate and supported ministries and or nonprofits. Is the green thing going up and down? Can they see me? Good morning. Coming to you live from Acts Media Group headquarters here in beautiful Springfield, Missouri. It's The Morning Drive with Matt and Jay, with your hosts, Matt and Jay. And I got both of my sons here today.
Hello.
The crazies, I call them.
Yo.
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 What's up?
Yo.
What's up?
What's up?
The funny thing is if they answer, I can't answer back.
Why?
That's a good question.
It's a trick. I'm wanting them to answer the question whenever there's really no purpose to answering it.
All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay. My name is Jordan.
My name is Tanner.
We're glad to have everybody on board with us today. You might notice there is a bit of a room echo. We got to put some acoustic paneling up here. We are broadcasting live for the very first time from our new location on West Kearney Street. So also there's a possibility that throughout the show, you guys might hear some drilling going on. Apparently there's an electrician in the next room over that is running some electrical. So,
Yeah.
good morning. Wow, yeah.
Wow.
There's really echoey in here.
It is echoey in here, but let's find out if we're echoing.
Let's find out if we're echoing.
Axe Media Group.
Yay.
So, let's change the art. What's going on there? Is that me?
Nope, that's me.
Ah, look.
Good morning, Steve Schultz.
Good morning.
Share.
Good morning.
Pet peeves. I guess you could have spelled peeves, P-E-A-V-E-S.
It corrected me
Yes.
to
Did it?
P-E-E.
Yes, it's B-E-E-V-E-S.
Yep.
It's my pet peeve when people spell peeve wrong.
We'll be working on the lighting and all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun.
There it is.
It's going to be a lot of
I'm
fun.
liking
there,
and
fellas.
sharing this video.
I am too.
Oh, wow.
'cause
That's
right
what we
now,
do.
No
Wow.
plants. I don't know if we're going to have the plant.
Thank you for letting me
That
know.
was my alarm. So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. We're glad to have everybody on board with us today. So today's topic, pet peeves and whatnot. Okay, and we'll tell you exactly what started this.
Not me.
So
this
I
time.
get up at good morning, Susan Abar.
Good morning.
Ron and Susan are watching today. Welcome.
Thank you, Ron and Susan.
New location. We got a new location. So, I got up this morning. It was about 6:30, something like that. I decided I wanted to take a shower. Live video interrupted. Is that thing flicky flashing?
It is.
Oh
No,
no.
full red.
Full red?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Facebook.
it very well could be.
Yeah, we're full go.
All right. Well,
So I'm going to go to Axe Media Group on Facebook,
yep. That's what
and
I
I'm
did.
going to watch the video from there.
Good morning, Larry Milton. Glad to have you with us. So, anyways, I get ready to take a shower. I go in and take a shower at about 10 till.
Did you go at 10 till?
10 till.
Was it 10 till?
10 till. And I get out of the shower.
Mind you, at this point, I've been up since 5 o'clock,
Yes, I'm aware of that.
and I'm ready.
And okay, so actually, it was a little bit before 5 o'clock that you were up.
Jason doesn't sleep.
No, I slept.
So, and I take my shower, and I get my clothes on, and I come out, and as a rhetorical question, I ask, "Is everybody ready?" And then I go into my room, and I realize
So now think about
I
this.
wasn't ready.
When was
I
the last
wasn't
time
ready.
you asked a room full of people that were supposed to get in your car if they were ready as a rhetorical question?
My favorite thing is we're turning the audience into the jury.
Yes. You are the jury, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, you
The
are the
defendant.
jury. The real question is who's the judge. It has to be one of us or it's one of you, in which case this case is incredibly biased.
Okay, so that makes it you.
Oh, no.
Right. So,
I'll just be.
I guess we should have.
lawyer.
I guess we could
his
have.
lawyer.
He's my lawyer.
Lawyer.
I guess we could have.
So go ahead and state your case.
I guess we could have set up in the other studio.
Argue
where
your
there's
case,
carpet
bro.
locked
Argue
up.
your case.
Okay, so it was a rhetorical question, actually. It was
Oh,
a
wow.
and they
Was it rhetorical, Jordan?
it was. It was
Did you-
actually.
did you
it
get
was
the
actually
sense it
more.
was
It was
rhetorical?
actually more for Jordan.
Your Honor, I object. He states that it was a rhetorical question. The question was not rhetorical. We were commuting in his vehicle with him that morning, and he came to the kitchen and asked if we were all ready.
Oh, no.
I didn't come to.
What would that mean to you? Would that be rhetorical?
Yes.
Yes.
He's asking his lawyer.
But
He's asking your lawyer.
whether or not the rhetorical question was appropriate at the
Are you-
moment.
are you
for the
ready?
People. What?
Are you ready?
Am I ready? Well, both parties have interrupted
So why do you
each other
feel like you
several
need
times.
to answer that question? Because it was rhetorical.
Because,
Leading.
Because
Here's
it
the
was
thing.
not rhetorical.
well,
For me, okay, in my mind, I know what a rhetorical question is, and in my mind, it was rhetorical because that, and subconsciously, I guess that was my way of letting you guys know I'm almost ready. Don't be impatient with me. But instead, it came across as, "Hey,
yeah.
you guys get ready." And
It's
then,
time to go, is what I thought.
I think the verdict is simple. I think that whether a question or not is rhetorical or not is dependent upon the person who is speaking it, whether or not it was intended to be rhetorical. Yet communication is really what's received, not what is
So
said.
it wasn't the question. It was it's time to go.
Yes. So from your perspective, it was better because of what was communicated in the end. It's better that somebody changes the way that they said.
Barney is...
But
So Barney's not doing well.
no, he's
Please
still,
pray for
he's
him.
still in the hospital.
Doing less well than...
He
you
tried to
might-
come. He tried to walk out of the hospital last night and collapsed before he
hospital.
collapsed at the hospital.
Collapsed at the house before he went to the hospital.
Yeah.
That's why he's there.
And they said his pulse rate was low whenever they had him there yesterday.
Yeah.
And
It was not cool.
no,
It wasn't just... It was weird. There was a weakness. Because his legs, when he got up from the table and started to walk, just got... Even his whole body. Just like got more and more rubbery.
yeah,
Like he was just weak.
yeah,
And then he just swayed more and more. And I got up to go with him to steady him, and he just went and fell right in the floor.
He caught himself. And then
He caught himself. He landed on his knees and then his wrists and his elbows. And then his back hurt, too. Because he's a big guy.
yeah. 6'9". He's
So he coulda
6'9".
hurt his back, too.
Yeah.
But we need
Morning,
to pray
Stacy.
for him. He needs prayer.
Yeah, and he's one of those types of guys that doesn't like going to the hospital.
No.
Does not. And they couldn't. Okay, so at that time of night, there's no food available in the ER. And he was in the ER, and he was really hungry.
Oh, he was still in the ER.
Yes. He actually probably stayed the night there because they were boarding people in the ER because of the
Pandemic.
there's no room at the inn, so to speak.
Pray for Barney.
He tried to get okay. So the nurse called me last night and said, "Barney is trying to leave against medical advice." And I was
Did you
like,
shake it out first?
"No," because in my mind, I saw. I mean, I'm my anxiety. I can't handle him coming home against medical advice after seeing what I saw yesterday.
They didn't test him for coronavirus, and they won't. He's not showing symptoms of it.
Well, I don't know if they tested him or not. Well, he said they gave him a COVID test.
Oh, he said they did, which is surprising because usually they won't test you unless you have any
sure.
symptoms
Yeah.
of COVID.
Well, I mean, low heart rate.
Yeah, but
Oh,
with the other symptoms.
Not really, because it's a high heart rate. You're not
But
getting
he,
oxygen, so your heart should pump like crazy trying to get oxygen.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of weird because it's like depending on the person, the body will respond differently. That's why they say nutrition is like it varies from person to person. That's why we know nothing about nutrition
Yeah,
because there's so many variables in each person's body that
right.
like
Well, I mean, it's just but if your body's low on oxygen, it's going to pump harder.
Yeah.
Your heart pumps. That's just what it does. It surprises me that they did a COVID test.
Sorry, Pam was asking if the plant was here. Yes, the plant is here.
plant
It's
is
just
here.
not in here.
Yeah.
We had just, with all the things that were going
It
on.
would help with sound, maybe.
It probably would.
Both of them. So please pray for him.
Huh. Invalid login and ID for my Academy Bank.
New environment. Congrats. Thank you, Johnny. Oh, by the way, Johnny, you did call me. I'm sorry I hadn't called you back. It's been a busy weekend. And it's been busy, like hard to get rest.
Well, let's see here. It looked like there was a somebody just tried to
Log in.
log in. Let's see.
To what?
Academy Bank.
What?
Yeah, and then an invalid password for your login ID was submitted.
Huh.
Oh boy.
When did you last use the card?
Oh, I last used a card yesterday.
You didn't use it at Come and Go this morning?
No. So,
Yesterday, where?
it's one of those things. I don't know. I've got a pretty complicated password.
Yeah, but if somebody's watching over your shoulder, all they have to do is take a picture of your card.
Did you get the notification through email?
Yes,
Did you make sure it was actually from Academy Bank?
it is from Academy Bank because I also got a notification from Academy Bank. Yeah,
That's why. Okay.
They kind of freaked me out because you said
is-
somebody's watching over your shoulder while I was staring over his shoulder. And that made
Well,
me...
you have to be
Well, the
careful
thing
in
is-
line at checkout because people
Yeah.
will watch you. They'll snap a shot. Everybody's got their phone out all the time. You don't know who's filming what. Snap a shot of your card number, and if they can get the front and the back of it, and your PIN, usually you put in at the register.
yeah.
They
Well, I
can
mean,
film
somebody,
all that without you knowing.
when somebody might have stole information from one of the places we use our account numbers with, and you can't get into my account without my password or without my biometrics. Biometrics is the main way I get into things now because you can't hack biometrics unless
You're skilled enough to know how to replicate a fingerprint or get the residue off, which some people know how to do.
Yeah, but I
But
mean,
you have to...
Fingerprint scanners on the back.
It takes longer.
You
It
also
takes
have to
way
reverse
longer.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm that type that I trust the bank, and I trust the bank will take care of it if something happens. Because I've had my card stolen before. Whenever I was married, somebody broke into Lindy's car and stole her purse, which had our account numbers in it, our credit card, debit card, all of that.
Oh, dear me.
Yeah. So I've set up.
So what are your pet peeves, ladies and gentlemen?
What are your pet peeves?
Cold weather.
So mine, it's a minor one this morning for some reason. Well, I think just things are building up, and it annoyed me this morning more than usual. But
Yeah.
it does annoy me when somebody asks, like when somebody's like, "Oh, are you ready?" And then you find yourself waiting on them.
Well, see, in
It's
my
like, don't ask me if I'm ready until you're ready.
okay, so I guess that I don't understand why I said it like that, but first of all, I have to ask him if he's ready at least 20 minutes before we leave because
Right.
he's inevitably not ready.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, is everybody ready?
So I was just annoyed this morning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yesterday was a pretty emotional, crazy day.
It has been a
You were a
tough
minute late
year,
to the show.
and
been
not
very
just in the
You delayed the
COVID
show
realm.
by a
I
minute.
mean, we've had a tough year all around. I have.
Yeah.
I mean, I've moved 3 times, right? Yeah,
Yeah. 3 times.
Yeah.
3
Jeez,
times.
man, I can only imagine.
yeah.
Moving once
Oh,
is hard
I
enough.
hate moving. And everybody around me's gotten sick.
Yeah.
Your dad died,
Yeah.
which was massive for me.
Yeah. And then Barney's
Barney
not taking care of himself.
Falling down.
Well, he's not.
And I feel responsible for that.
Well, I have been checking with him on a daily basis. Barney, are you getting ready to have a seizure? Is this how you do? No, I'm okay. And then Barney, you need to talk to a doctor. Well, I'll have to go to the ER. Well, then if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. I'll be fine. I'll call the doctor tomorrow. And
Yeah.
then whenever he finally agreed to call
One
the
of
doctor.
us is going to have to start visiting him to the doctor.
Yeah.
He needs high fat, high protein in the morning, something he can eat that won't upset his stomach.
Right.
We need to and pray for him about this. He's got it, and he's also got a rebellious nature. So if you suggest something like that, he won't do it.
Right.
So we need wisdom in a way that we can help Barney, because you can try to help Barney, and he feels like you're bossing him
And he'll rail
or
against
nagging
it.
him, and he'll do the opposite. So it's kind of a. And he's found himself in a difficult situation. He's lost his mother and his sister. And they lived together, and they really took care of him. And we don't know all of how they did everything. So we've got to learn that and adjust in a way that it suits Barney, that he'll actually be okay. So it's a difficult time. And we don't really know what to do. So pray for us for wisdom, Barney's health.
Yeah, and it's pray for our sanity.
And it's scary.
It is. It's super scary because we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. And it's not like being a youth leaving home fighting for independence. He suddenly's found himself in a place where he's kind of not alone because we're there, but at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we wouldn't have been there. No, Larry, you're right. Barney does not eat right.
No.
We need to work on his. We need to work on his diet.
Yeah. Feeding him. Because he's not going to feed himself.
No, like the other day, he went like a whole day. I mean, diet is very important. You got to make sure you
sleep.
eat enough, especially if you have issues like epilepsy and things like that. The potential for heart disease is pretty high. His mom and his sister both had heart issues, so they're going to be doing a lot of
It's a pet peeve.
a lot of checking. What is a pet peeve?
That just feels like that just looks like it wants to fall off of there.
Oh boy. It's an optical
ADHD.
illusion. Wait, OCD you mean?
And then some things in life are trivial.
Oh.
Barney could eat a
Well,
horse.
now that you pointed that out, I see it.
Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, and he has actually. When we first moved in over
Hey,
there.
buddy.
When we first moved in over there, I mean, he would. I mean, he could eat a lot.
Yeah.
Like he would eat a lot. Like I bought a pizza, I had 2 pieces out of it, and he ate the rest.
Yeah.
So, and it's just rapidly declined. I think with the stress, stress will kill you. Stress will kill you.
Thank you for that very encouraging word to me.
Well, I'm saying what it does is it causes a release of cortisol into your system, hardening the arteries causing
yep.
weight gain in the lower abdomen, and causing plaque buildup in the arteries. That's why whenever someone's really stressed out, they can either have a heart attack or a stroke.
And it damages your
And
brain
it's
too.
very bad. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go without, you could also have an aneurysm if you're not careful.
Yep.
Which is a blood clot going into your brain.
Yeah.
So-
So with this stress at home, acts, home, the church that we do, work, all of those things are stressful, and everybody is going through all these things with COVID. There's a lot of stress in society right now, and that makes pet peeves more prominent.
Makes you more sensitive to them.
Yeah, it makes you. So it's like always the straw.
Yeah.
So one little thing, and this morning I was pretty upset about it. I was, and there's no reason to be upset about
Yeah.
that. I mean,
It's always
just
something
stupid.
silly.
It's just stupid.
Well, the last time we had any kind, and I'm sorry you were upset about it. I was, and
Well, I
was
shouldn't have
just-
been. It's no big deal.
I mean, I was just making sure that he was ready because he had a movie planned.
Yeah.
Well, it is one of the things that you do. You want to make sure that when you're ready to go, everybody is ready to go. And it
doesn't bother me if you're not ready. The
when
thing
it's
is,
just me and you, you still do that all the time.
but that's just I'm thinking of it like, okay, I'm letting you know that I'm ready. It doesn't. If you're not ready, it doesn't bother me. I don't care.
Right.
Honestly, I can say that. Honestly, it doesn't bother me if I say I'm ready and then you're not. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm looking forward to the next way you're going to have the same argument. You've already seen.
But here's the thing: we actually have just, and that it's important to say what's going on with you.
That's right. I agree. I'm just teasing.
But actually, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, things are trivial.
I've learned a
Some things
long
are
time ago. I can get ready and sit down and wait.
Yeah,
and then
but
I'm
you've
ready
been
when
married
you're ready, and
a couple times. I've been married a couple times. That happens.
That was never the case there. It was more the other way around.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
You were the one not ready?
No, I was always ready,
Oh, okay.
and they were not. And I was like, "Are you ready?"
I'm
all by the. It's the same, I guess.
Okay, so from now on, instead of saying, "Are you ready?" I will say, "I am almost ready." Just letting you know. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I am not. I try. You know, it doesn't stress me. It doesn't stress me out whenever people aren't ready.
I don't even know why it irritated me this morning.
I think it's sensitivity because of yesterday. We're worried about our friend.
Yeah.
That's the air conditioner.
So be careful about how you treat the people you love. Like, so I could have exploded about that this morning, or I could just like nag about it, like I'm doing.
Or you could just not say anything.
Or you could just not say anything, which none of those really help. It's important.
Communication is important.
Communication is important.
Like, so like if I'm, if something he does bothers me and I don't tell him and then I get mad at him for it, whose fault is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know?
Could be a little both, really.
And it's important to talk about this because it is mounting. In my job, I see it. More and more people are getting to that edge where there's a straw. They're just waiting for the straw.
Yep.
And the tension is mounting in society.
Well, here's the thing: is a lot of people you've always had the stress of life, trying to get ahead or at least keep up, paying the bills, having food, everything, maybe get a little time to rest. But then you add on top of that, people are being stripped of their normal everyday lives or basic livelihoods, and then they have all the emotional stress of all the people around them getting sick and people passing away, and that paired with the political climate, all of that is just added stress, and it's not healthy for people.
No,
but here's the thing: here's the thing, and this is why we as a church have such a huge responsibility. Is there's a reason why Christ commanded us to preach the gospel in and out of season. Whenever it's good times, whenever it's bad times, preach the same gospel, which is that you're not good enough to save yourself, but God looked down upon you. He sent his son because he loved you as a sacrifice for your sins. We have to tell people that because Christ is the only thing that you can cling to that has not changed this entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Christ says you're ready.
Yeah, and we got to edify each other, support each other. Be kind, be friendly, and then do as the Bible says also is to look on the good things, look on what is good.
Yeah.
Because, and to point it out, to get people focused in the right direction, right? What is good, what is honest, what is true, what is just.
Yeah. So one thing that's really changed my perspective in a lot of ways is looking at, by seeing and talking to different people, you realize problems and gifts, they all have they're connected in ways, and they don't need to be connected, but certain personality traits bring forth positive things and negative things at the same time, because people go to one extreme or the other extreme most of the time. They're not balanced, Right. People don't just come balanced. So somebody who is perceived as rebellious in one instance may be perceived as a pioneer in another way. Yeah. And that's not because they're rebellious, but it's the same personality trait that creates both. So the goal that Christ tells us is to be submissive, but
Broadcast
also
has been paused.
What's that? Oh, so we are having an issue here. Now we are on the 5G?
No, we are not on the 5G.
So we need to switch over to that.
Well, yeah, plus,
Is it a different password or something?
I don't think so.
So why are we on the one that's not 5G?
You know, that's the one we tried out the other day.
Yeah, so it's just not plugged into the right thing.
Well, it's plugged in. That's just I don't know. We were at night the other day. Is it still? Oh, it's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that, I mean, I've kind of been forced to
We'll
realize
redo it after this show
and grapple with other beliefs, because like whenever you live in a vastly different place than you were born in, it's very
Larry's ready.
It's very different.
Yeah, he says, "Larry, you ready?" That's what Jackie said.
says
Larry, you ready?
He says, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Something went wrong, Larry said.
He's waiting by the door with all of his clothes and his coat on, probably. And she's in there doing her hair.
Love it. I don't have a watch party option anymore. This is frustrating.
You know, now that I think about it, I
God
do
tells
the
us
same
not to
thing.
worry about what things, Larry asks.
All things.
All things. That's right. That doesn't mean being irresponsible. People will take it to that extreme, like then you just sit around. And then people will take it to the other extreme. God only helps the man who helps himself, but I don't think that that's right either.
Now, not to worry is an incomplete statement, though.
Not
It's
to worry
not
about
complete.
all things.
Not to worry about all things is incomplete, too, as far as I'm concerned. If you search for this scripture that says that,
It says be
it would
anxious.
leave a person out in the void just and feeling condemned, because you're not going to just stop worrying, especially if you got things to worry about.
Be anxious for nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you look, we did this before. How do you spell anxious?
ANXIOUS. Anxious.
NIV.
You and the spelling bee. Congratulations.
So it's Philippians 4:6. Let's look that up, because there is a lot of anxiety and worry, and the Bible gives us instruction on how we can encourage and help people who are anxious.
Yeah.
Even how to change our own perspective so we won't be anxious. It doesn't just say don't be anxious, and that's a command.
Right, there's
Philippians
more.
4.
What
Yeah.
the whole general idea is that whenever you're standing on the promises of God, that those things they will go away, but they don't. It's not perfect because we doubt. You know. That's the issue too. Is like, you know, whenever I experience the least anxiety is whenever I'm focusing on God, but that's also sometimes whenever I get hit with the most amount of things to make me anxious. And then one day I'll just have a breaking point and I'll just lose it. And then, you know?
So to not be anxious, it means to meditate on these things. Finally, brethren, whatever things are true. And so if you're anxious, maybe you're holding on to things that are not true, or focusing on things that are not true, or focusing on things that you are unsure of and don't really have the answer. If you're focusing on something that you don't have the answer for, you know, like let's focus on COVID for a minute. We've heard so many things. Who even knows? You know what I mean? There's so much going on there, and we don't really have the answers. So if we're focusing on that, you know, we're going to get lost and anxious. But if we focus on what is true? That COVID is a sickness, it's highly contagious, people are dying from it. Right?
Yeah.
Those are the true things about it. And we can stop there.
Yeah.
So consider yourself to be sick, highly contagious, and be careful not to spread it around. That way,
No.
I mean, it's really the best you can do.
I would say that also, though, in itself would still leave room for anxiety. So whenever I would see that, I would see the truth that it's
Hey, son.
focusing on.
You want to go blow your nose?
The truth that it's focusing on more is,
It would help the audio.
Because all I'm hearing is...
I just think
No, I don't know why, but for some reason I have a runny nose, and it's not even.
Okay, so...
So I
Jim
wasn't
says-
saying to focus on that
no, yeah.
and
Jim's-
that lead on anxious. I'm saying
that's
you don't have the answer.
Jim
So-
says his pet peeve is a person promising something and not delivering.
Oh yeah.
Are you trying to say something?
Yeah. Tell me about
You
it.
got to be pretty. You have to
I'm
be
good at not
very.
delivering.
That's going to give me a complex. I'm going to be like, I'm that type of person. I'm like, are they talking about me? Is it something I've done wrong?
Yeah.
Is it
I
the
know.
desks?
The desks?
I don't know what we've been promising.
Is this a hint?
Anyways,
No.
I don't even know. But be specific, Jim. Call
he
it
says
out.
he used to be known as the accountability preacher.
Who?
Whatever things are noble,
Yeah.
what does noble mean?
Means upright.
He says no, not you guys.
Let's look at noble.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. Because my mind will run away with me. I'll just
It's
assume the worst.
N-O-B-L-E.
E-L.
It's L-E.
Oh, yeah, that's no bell.
Belonging to
You lost
a hereditary class
lost the
with high social
Spelling bee.
or political status, that's noble.
Yeah.
Having or showing fine personal qualities or high moral principles and ideals. So what if we focus on those things? Can
Yep.
that reduce stress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of focusing on so with Matt, I could very easily focus on how every time we're going somewhere together, he wants me basically by the door waiting for him. And he doesn't.
Which I really don't.
He really doesn't. But the thing is, he does that. He says, "Is everybody ready?" When he's not, and then I get ready, and then I wait for him.
It's like a space.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm older. Why don't you be waiting for me?
Yeah.
I could focus on that, but the fact is, I don't because Matt is noble. He has qualities, and I can focus on that because those are the things that make my life better, and they are. You know what I mean? So when I'm down, when I'm feeling, down and maybe obsessing on something that I can't fix or getting, nihilistic and feeling like all is lost.
We all have those.
Matt's quality is that he's always there. First of all, he recognizes it and he's sensitive to it. You don't have to say that that's how you're feeling. And then he talks to you about what's going on. And then when I talk to him about what's going on, he counsels me to put my faith in God, and then we direct on the positive things and worship and praise God. So when we look at each other to look at nobility, what are our noble character? What are noble character qualities that we can focus on? Like Jordan, I could focus right now on his sniffling into the microphone,
which I am really trying not to focus on because.
But last night he was here, and we were setting this up. And he was attentive. He was there listening to me, doing what I needed him to do so that I didn't have to keep doing it.
You did the same thing at church yesterday.
Yeah,
super
and
helpful.
the same thing at church every time. So I can focus on the one thing that might be a pet peeve and annoy me and what's going to happen. That relationship's going to break down really fast.
Yeah.
So how can we apply these pet peeves, these things that we might focus on that could tear down relationships, even society?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what's happening in the media is people are focusing on basically pet peeves and just hating each other because of them.
Yeah.
But we can focus on each other's noble qualities. And the Bible tells us how to do that. Is that related to worry? Sure it is. I think so.
Yeah.
Whatever things are just. What is just?
Right.
And I try to think of these things personally, internally. I can't force you to be just. Right? But I can be just when I deal with other people. Yep. Like this morning, it would not have been just for me to explode on him because of some stupid thing that, one, I knew was coming. I know how
See, I was unaware that I did that.
I knew that he wasn't ready, and I didn't have to go and get my coat on and be ready at the door. I didn't have to do that. I knew that.
So
I could have exploded on him about that. But instead, you know what I mean? Let's be just with each other. What does justice mean?
it's right. Whatever's right.
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 Me being
But so the pet peeves is what we need to put aside because those are not the noble qualities. If we're focusing on pet peeves, we're not focusing on noble qualities.
right.
The funny
we
thing
should.
about pet peeves is it's normally just something small that has nothing wrong. That really no harm is really done in the end anyways. Now, if you're in a different circumstance,
Exactly. Unless you react poorly to them.
in which case that's your fault.
Damage
right?
can be done there.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if he would have blown up on me on that, see, I was really unaware that I was.
It would have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
That would have ruined my whole entire day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I am super sensitive.
Yeah. And he's
to
probably
stuff
going
like
to be
that.
sensitive now because I've said all this stuff.
No, I'm okay.
But I will focus on his noble qualities because he has many. And they're more valuable to me than anything. He's my treasure in my life. You know?
If you guys can find a friend that is like that, you hang on to them because that is a treasure. Having a brother and friend and that will not blow up on you and that will actually talk to you about it, because he the sugar incident of 2018.
Is this what we're calling it?
No, it was 2017, I think.
Oh, it was.
We call it
blew up that day. He came out and he's standing by the sink to get coffee. He was barefoot. I think we were barefoot. And he came in, and it was enough to be called the sugar incident of 2017. It's like the incident of the year. And I was trying, okay, so the reason there was sugar on the floor is because of the old school sugar holder thing that has one of those metal lids that gets dented,
Yeah.
I was trying to fulfill to keep from doing another pet peeve of his, which is to use the sugar and not fill it up whenever you use the last of it. So when I opened it, sugar got on the floor. So that day, it was like, you can't win for losing.
No, because I was upset.
No, you're better than me, because the next few days after he exploded like that, I would have put like a note, and I would have put like shoes and socks by his door, so it's like, don't step in sugar.
No, you wouldn't have.
No, that would not. No, he would not have. That's
No, you wouldn't have.
Just put the sugar jar on the floor.
Unless you're wanting to buy new pairs of shoes every day.
Put the sugar jar on the floor.
Right, I'd have been locking all the cupboards on you, buddy. Putting
Combination
deadbolts.
locks.
Yeah, combination
Combination locks.
So no, but that's the thing, is our pet peeves can really destroy us,
Yeah.
and destroy each other. And so, I think also about this great job that I have. I love being a cashier because I meet a lot of people who are just so angry and irritating and hate life all the time. And over time, when you continue to treat them with love, their character qualities start to stand out, and you can point them out, and you can thank them for those moments when they have those noble characters. That their noble character qualities, and those things will grow.
Yeah.
Because they appreciate being recognized for it, because it's not easy to do, to have a nobility, to be noble.
Right.
It's not easy to have a character quality. Character would mean that you stand even against, the tide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That people could depend on you like a lighthouse. You know what I mean? It's something to look to that's going to be right even when everything else is wrong.
Yeah.
So you can look to that, and then that will grow in people. And I find that people, when you don't let your pet peeves do that, of course, occasionally.
Yeah. Well, it's because
gets
you're
to you.
imperfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you go through your whole entire day and someone doesn't kind of get under your skin a little bit, then you're a robot. You're a robot.
One thing that happened whenever I was
How we react to that is what's interesting.
whenever I was growing up, I've always been sort of rough around the edges with like this is my stance, this is what I believe, and I'm going to live based on it. I'm not talking about politics, though. I'm talking about what matters to me most, which is my relationship with God, to where I would have a certain discipline, to where I wouldn't listen to certain things, I wouldn't watch certain things. And whenever you don't understand, as a kid, you don't understand why do people do this, but you get older and there's more and more pressure and more stress. And at that point, you understand why the temptations overwhelm. There's a reason why temptation and trial are the same word in Greek. They go together. They go hand in hand. They do. Because people that are tempted but not in a hard situation, like if you have an addiction and you're surrounded by people that love you, you can go days without indulging in it and not even realize it. But whenever you're in a trial, it's a lot harder, because that's all you can think of. All you can think of is ways to cope, and it comes in the forms of different temptations. So whenever you get older, and just with how lenient people are on things, just with how, that's not that bad, that just makes everything so much harder whenever you get older.
Yeah.
And so I've recognized in myself, and I know that it's not like the worst things that I do, but it's still, to me, it is, because it's the worst that I've known.
Excuse me. Yes.
And especially, anyways, so.
Yeah, there's a lot to so life kind of grows on you too. It gets even more overwhelming. There's an ebb and flow to it. You get overwhelmed and then you get some relief and you tackle the issues that are the most difficult, you know. And so looking at what things are pure. What does pure mean?
Clean.
Clean. Holy. And so what would we look at in life and in society when we're feeling anxious that is pure? That is
All you
clean?
can do is look at the church.
Right.
That's all you can do, really.
The real church, not
Not
the building.
Yeah, real people.
Talking about the people of God.
Yeah.
The church.
The church.
It's in our weaknesses that we're made strong, you know.
Larry, I can see that, Larry. He says, my pet peeve is I love to give, then I end up needing.
Yeah. I can see that too.
Barney's that way too.
Yep.
I like to give too, but like in the end, if I'm short on money and there's something that I need or I want to do,
Thank you, Jackie.
To me, it doesn't. I mean, I don't feel bad. I mean, it sucks, but to me, it's just like, I mean, I'm in a place to where I can get more if I need, but they're in a place to where if they can't even get ahead at all. So yeah, I may be missing maybe one meal or two meals, but afterwards I'm going to be able to have money to get another meal. And if not, I have good credit with my bank, so I can even get it on credit and pay for it later. You see what I mean? It's like, look how blessed we are in that way. I mean, how many people, America, believe it or not, Americans are within the top 85% of the wealthy people in the world. Like all of the wealthy, even if you make $30,000 a year, which in America is really low right now, but you make more than most people in the world.
Well, yeah. I mean, I firmly
We're in the
believe
top
that.
1%.
Yeah, we're in the top 1% of the world's population.
Yep.
Just even being,
Very blessed.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because
But that also brings an overwhelming amount of responsibility, which we do take on.
Yeah.
There are the third world countries around the world have risen from the lowest of poverty and death out of it as a result of the generosity of the 1%.
Yeah.
And they're being developed. And though there are many who are up there first who are taking advantage and doing it for their own, to satisfy their own greedy desires, there are those coming in quietly doing the work that is pure, that is righteous, that is just.
There's a lot of need for urban ministry too, though.
Yeah.
In our own lands, I tell you, I live in the city. I see it because, well, one thing I would say, and I can't speak entirely on it because I don't know enough about it, but I do know that we do have a lot of corrupt politicians in the city who take more money than they need, and you see the areas that are around their big empire, and you're like, how can you take from these people? But there's a lot of need because the urban churches, you have to understand, the urban churches, the ones in these lower income areas, they're not able to give as much to the community because they're getting from the community.
Right.
You know? So what you need is churches that are more that are more blessed in terms of monetary to pick up and help these churches in the hard parts of the inner city. That's a really big need right now.
Yeah, it is.
And I think that that'll help in a lot of ways.
I think we should encourage one another. I think it says it right here too. What about this? What other things are good of good report? If there be any virtue and if there be any praiseworthy, meditate on these things. So when I talk about Matt, I can talk about that pet peeve about, you know, that we were talking about this morning. But here's the thing. I was waiting to get into his car to come up here, not using my own gas, right? Not even having to drive, which I'm not a fan of driving anyway.
Yeah.
So he's giving me a ride up here to help me fulfill a commitment that I've made to the church, you know, at his expense, you know, at his time, in his car. So that's a good thing. And those are the things that we need to do is focus on one another's qualities and praise them. Because isn't that generosity?
Yeah.
Isn't that giving? And isn't that a way that when we encourage that kind of behavior, we can see that go on from there? If you see that I recognize that your generosity is a valuable thing to me, and that I love you for it, and that it makes my life better for it, and I can describe to you the ways that it makes my life better, right? Don't you want to give more?
Yeah.
Don't you realize that in our society, a little generosity, where it might not even, because he's coming up here anyway, may not cost him anything, but it might save me something. You know, if we do that for each other, we can change the world, because it does change somebody else's life. Matt's driving every day up here, and everywhere else that we go that he drives at his expense makes my life easier.
Yeah.
And makes my life less expensive. That generosity is amazing. That he's there for me when I am troubled, when I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
When I'm concerned about, and when I may be getting ready to be unjust, right? Or when I may be getting ready to be angry and have an outburst or a breakdown or to give up. You know, he's there to encourage me and build me up and lift me up. And that's what we should do for each other in these times. Pet peeves are growing. People are getting more annoyed with each other.
Yeah.
I see it at my work, where people are getting tired. People are even annoyed by somebody with a good attitude. You know, and I learned those people who are starting to get annoyed with that at this time. And I say, maybe I won't be so overwhelmingly joyful, that I might just be more solemn with those people.
Yeah.
And be more, solemn, I would say.
Yeah. But, well, yeah. I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with people that are overwhelmingly joyful. But the thing is whenever you're talking to certain people and you can tell that they're hurting, that joy, whenever you express it in a certain way, that's going to end up hurting them.
Yeah.
But if you're gentle and you're solemn in a sense that, like, to where you're not overwhelmed, you're not making them think of what they wish they were,
Yeah.
you know, but you are making their day better, you know?
Yeah. Yep. And so we are about out of time. We've got 1 minute left. And so I'm going to go ahead and play the music and bring it in. So thank you for joining us today for the Morning Drive. We hope that you all enjoyed the show. We hope that you learned something from it. Thank you all for contributing to it by your comments and by your questions. We appreciate that so much. Please like and share these videos. So if you have a friend or a family member in particular that you think might benefit from any one particular show, during that show you can go to the share button at the bottom where you also leave your comments. Bring up their name, share it with them personally, leave them a little note about why you think this show would be good for them to listen to. We love you so much. Have a good day. This has been The Morning Drive. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
And you've noticed that our other compadres have left the show. So you all have a great day. We love you so much. Focus on each other's qualities and nobility.
Yeah.
Maybe let those pet peeves go. Encourage one another. Be kind. Be a neighbor and a friend to everyone near you.